remembering myself at 17, which was like 2 years before. Pretty much it.
Joss, I'd just love to know, it's hard to hear up here sometimes. I'd just love to know, just like how important were these actors in sort of bringing your vision to life? And you could just talk about like casting like Summer, like why was she perfect for River?
You can't change your mind now. I already got cast.
Sure. George Lucas could. He could digitally make you a man. I'm not saying we've had a meeting about it. I'm just saying. These, as I've said before, are honestly the finest meat puppets that I've ever controlled, and it's hard for me because I do remember the time before these people played these parts. I remember the audition process. I remember, you know, it was an incredibly long and ghastly process, quite frankly. And yet, then comes written history where many times the Killer Angels and was like, this is the story I want to tell, but with Han Solo in it. And I feel like the moment that happened, like all of them sort of like were somewhere just like went, like they became somebody else, and they didn't know it yet, but they were those people before they met me, and even if they hadn't been playing them or playing that particular type of person, it just, Summer is so crazy, and you know, the amount of vulnerability and strength that she can convey is beyond magnetic. It is, you know, I look at her and I think I will come with her if I want to live.
And Joss, why was Nathan the perfect captain for the Serenity? Why was Nathan Fillion the perfect captain for Serenity?
Before I wax lyrical, I just want to say one other thing. Watching that, because I haven't watched the show in a while, Jewel makes me cry, and Gina is the most badass woman I've ever seen. It really is absurd. The people who are not here, my heart is breaking that they're not here. Not just to experience this, but because I miss them so much. And that's ridiculous, because look what I got. But I'm still greedy, and I want more. I want the whole set. I want to get two. One that I can keep in the box, well, in a jar in my basement, and then the other that I can play with for real. The captain. I don't know how to again explain. First of all, I know that no matter what I say, he's going to make a face, and it's going to change the context of whatever I'm saying. I feel like I stare at you. Restraint, dignity. These are the things you look for. There was never a moment from the time we met where I did not think you were the captain. And anybody who knows the history of what went after the show, up to and including a party at your house like 3 weeks ago, knows that Nathan is the captain. The thing that, Alan will say, he is there to make sure that everybody is having the best time doing their best work. That's partially the job of the executive producer or the director. The DP also has a big influence on the crew, but the captain of a ship and the star of a show both have a responsibility that most actors are not up to or ignore. Or even if they're trying to do it, they can't convey the enormous gravitas that this clown can. And to have a man who, when he looks at you, you go, and he's not happy with you. And I know, and I think we can all remember we had a visiting actor who was very disrespectful to some of the females in the cast. And he got a taste of what Nathan's like when somebody threatens his loved ones. Just a little piece. You don't want that. You don't. And Alan's in it too.
I think we should get into fan questions here pretty quick. Just 2 more questions before we do that. Adam, I'd love to hear just like what has the fan phenomenon, the brown coats have kept this thing alive for 10 years. What has it meant to you?
Kelly Wheeler was a woman who worked in our office, and she was assistant to Gareth Davies, our production manager, producer, and she introduced us all to the online community, and that outreach that got to us, and then the feedback that fans were able to give to us over time really was inspirational. And I was talking about this earlier today, that upon cancellation of the film, I ran up to Joss's office because I had been not on the set when the announcement was made, and I saw him diligently trying to get it back up in the air, and I saw this look of determination in his eyes, and I never gave up hope. And the feedback from the fan, I was never able to say anything. It was always up to Joss, but when the fan community that was interacting with us at that point, they never gave up, and I think Joss understood that you never gave up, and so he never did either. So one of the most heartwarming and wonderful times of my entire life was watching that show be resurrected as a major motion picture, and couldn't have done it without you guys.
Shiny.
Joss, I honestly, I sometimes look back and I think of the movie Serenity as one of the finest nervous breakdowns a man could possibly have.
And expensive.
It was, I was inconsolable, and it changed me, and it changed the way I work, and it changed the way I operate, because there was no way, there was no reality where I would not get these people back together. There was just none. I've never been that before. And really, I don't give a shit about anything since. So that was one time. It was almost like being a man. Or so I have read.
Let's go to the audience. Where's our first
foyer of a building, and a woman walked up to you and made to speak and broke down into tears.
I kicked her.
Which surprised me, because I didn't know you very well. But now I do. But much like you said, and that it always warms my heart when people say it had an effect, when you say it saved your life. Obviously, this woman, you touched her in a when people are moved,
there you go.
I like that.
Do you remember the time? Do you remember the time that we were off the air for 10 years? And then,
like it was yesterday.
Like thousands of people showed up to see us anyway. Remember that one? That's perfect. That was a good one.
It makes me wish I brought something cool along to show you, but I just wish I was thinking ahead. Remember that?
All right. Next question.
Muscle management.
Hi. Is Enora's missing storyline ever going to be put into a graphic novel? And if not, can you fill us in on what it was?
I'm sure Morena's going to tweet about it or something.
Or maybe Tim will talk about
Hey,
it.
somebody
in the
said that
science
Van Halen
panel
already
panel
spilled it.
did.
Oh, you know what? I do actually. You told everybody?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, it won't air. It hasn't aired
Almost
yet.
inked the deal.
Only on the Science Channel.
Only on the Science Channel.
Yeah, it hasn't aired yet, so you can go ahead and.
No, I'm not going to say anything, but I am going to say that Dark Horse, which has been doing the Firefly and the Serenity books, they keep changing their name because the rights keep floating from Universal to Fox, and it's very strange. But it's our peeps. They're their biggest selling books of all time. They're bigger than Buffy. They're bigger than Hellboy. They're bigger than anything else they have. The biggest hardcover they've ever sold was The Shepherd's Tale.
They have any for sale at their booth?
This is true, which is, the work of myself and a brilliant young man named Zach Whedon. And Chris Samney. And so we're going to be continuing with that. Zach and I just spent some time figuring out how to do some comics. Actually, it's a comic, but apparently I was the only one. So look forward to that. And I want to thank Dark Horse for carrying that banner, because they were pretty fierce about hounding me about getting it done.
And if you have, what was it?
Right.
Camping. Happy birthday again.
No.
I did camping once, but I called my mom to come pick me up in the middle of the night. I never stayed overnight. I was scared.
The longest I camped would have been like a Baby Jane and then some other great gay classic.
All right, next question up in the camp out 4 up there.
We have time for one more question.
But make it good.
Pressure.
I like your coat.
No pressure.
Yes.
Hey, had you known that season 1 would be the last season of Firefly, how would the finale have differed from Serenity?
Yeah. Would have been littler. A lot of the Reavers would have been off screen. There would have been people going, oh my God, look at those ones over there as well that are also there. In addition to the 2 you can see. Not many people realize that when Firefly was being made, it had a smaller budget than both Buffy and Angel. It was the cheapest show we were making, which to me when I watch it is extraordinary. But apart from that, I think obviously a couple of things would have been different. Even if they had canceled the show and I absolutely knew that that was the end of the show, I don't think I would have killed anybody. Film is a different animal and has different needs, and I think we would have delved more heavily into the Blue Sun conspiracy aspect of it, which we had to drop for the movie, which I was sorry about. And we would have learned about Book, and we would have learned about Inara. And for some reason, that's the question that's going to make me cry. That's okay. You know what? That is a good last question.
Joss, just one more question for you, Joss, which is, "We're Still Flying" has become a big mantra of the fan community. If you could just put in perspective, just one last time, what do the fans mean to you?
to try to follow that with a sentence, but I'm going to. When you come out of a great movie, I'm assuming this happens to other people too, you feel like you're in that world. Like you come out of Brazil and suddenly everything is duck piping and everything's bureaucracy and everybody's weird and everything's too much. You know, you come out of these certain things and the world has become that. When you're telling a story, you are trying to connect to people in a particular way. It's not just about what you want to say, it's about inviting them into a world. And the way in which you guys have inhabited this world, this universe, have made you part of it, part of the story. You are living in Firefly. When I see you guys, I don't think the show's off the air. I don't think there's a show. I think that's what the world is like. I think there's spaceships. I think there's horses. I think it's going on in all of us. The story is alive. Because